أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله على النبي الكريم نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. سبحانك اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وما توفيقي إلا بالله عليه توكلت إليه أنيب. أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, today 9th of Ramadan, 1438 years after Hijrah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam from Mecca to Medina, we will continue with our lessons from the glorious Quran. And we are in Surah 2, that is Surah Al-Baqarah. And inshallah al-Kareem, we will continue from verse 31. We stop at verse 30. That's all.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعلم
Verse 30, Allah Ta'ala told us about the story of our creation, how it all started. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala told us that He informed the angels that He is going to place a Khalifa on the surface of the earth. إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ Khalifa. Of course, they raised an issue. They said, أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا. Are you going to place someone on it who will promote corruption, mischief, وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاء, and will shed blood, will kill innocent lives, وَنَحْنُ نُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِكَ وَنُقَدِّسُ لَكَ, while we glorify you, we do all those things that you want of us to do in terms of obedience to you. Allah Ta'ala said, قَالَ إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. What is all about this creation is beyond your own knowledge. Allah Ta'ala said, I know that which you do not know. Now Allah Ta'ala is telling us now in the verses that follow this, what did happen after creating Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, after this thing that happened between the statement of Allah Ta'ala in Ja'ilun fil Ardi Khalifa, and also the statement of the angels that are you going to place someone who will promote corruption. One important thing we will see is Allah has already given Adam a special name, that is Khalifa. Inni ja'ilun fil ardi Khalifa. This is a honorable title. Some scholars of Islam say that if you are honored with a particular title, it is expected that you respect that particular title. And of course, any honor given to you, there are also responsibilities attached to that honor. If you are said to be honorable, then there are certain things attached to that particular name or that title that has been given to you. And that is why there was a time Khalifa Harun al-Rashid, he invited someone after hearing much about him. He now said, come, I'm going to assign you to be a leader, a judge in one particular part of the state, in one of the states that is under the entire Islamic Ummah. I want to make you a leader. Now he said, La Husinu al-Qada. This person said that, oh Khalifa, I am not qualified because I don't have all the knowledge that will make it possible for me to judge. Because I'm not a jurist. So it will not be possible for me to go and lead the entire community you want me to go and lead them. Harun al-Rashid said to him, Fika thalathu hisal. You have three attributes, three qualities in you. There are three qualities that tu'ahhiluka lil-qada. There are three qualities that will help you and assist you to lead. So it's not the issue of you excelling in knowledge or in the area of jurisprudence. There are some three important things you have, and those things will assist you to be able to lead. What are those three things? He said, Laka sharafun. You are a dignified person. People respect you. You have a honor you respect. You try to protect. And washarafu yamna'u sahibuhu ad-dana'a. Whoever is honorable, that title itself will stop him from doing things that will touch his integrity. So it is expected because of that people respect you, that you are honorable. That alone will help you not to do those things that are not okay or morally right. So by implication, it shows that if you are given a title, or like being honorable, I know that in our political settings you always hear the honorable. So that title itself is a big thing. It's a big thing, and we see it now from our religion, Islam, that the title that you are given as honorable, that title alone can help you to be able to live. Then the second thing you have is laka hilmun. Wal hilmu yamna'u min al-ajalati. And you are someone that is always careful. You are careful, you are patient. You don't do things, you don't rush. And whoever is being careful and patient will hardly commit unnecessary mistakes. So this is the second attribute I have seen in you. And then وَأَنْتَ رَجُلٌ تُشَاوِرُ النَّاسِ. And I have seen that you are someone that always consults with people. You always interact, you hear the opinions of people. فِي أُمُورِكَ وَمَنْ شَاوَرَ كَثُرَ صَوَابُهُ. And whoever always consults, in many cases, you realize that he will be doing what is acceptable. That means he will be doing the right thing. وَأَمَّا الْفِقِهُ. Amma the knowledge that you complain you lack, فَنَضُمَّ إِلَيْكَ مَنْ تَسْتَعِينُ بِهِ. But for the knowledge, we will give you jurists that they will surround you so that you can now use them and they will assist you. So you will get to understand the kind of thinking and understanding of our leaders. This is the overall head of the entire Muslim Ummah. He's assigning someone a responsibility, like now to talk about in our nomenclature now we talk about the president, isn't it? Probably assigning someone, even though he don't assign a governor, but assigning a minister or whatever. And probably that minister don't have the requisite knowledge that has to do with that particular ministry. He might not be able to know everything, of course. But then, now we are being told by our leader that if you have these three attributes with you and you are surrounded with the experts, then you will achieve. It's not that you exclude yourself from the expert. That's why Harun Rashid didn't say, go ahead with only this, but we will surround you with expert. But you, with these three qualities, it will assist you. Being honorable, being someone that is patient, and widely consulting. And with this, leadership will be a very, very important thing if we consider all these things while assigning responsibilities to people. And that is why Rasul was saying one of the worst things that will happen before the end of time is to assign people that are not qualified to lead. A lot of problems will follow. And Rasul said, إِذَا دُيَّأَتِ الْأَمَانَةِ فَانْتَظِرُوا السَّاعَةَ. If the trust is being betrayed, then you should wait for so many wrong things to happen. If trust is being betrayed. And Rasul was asked, how can trust be betrayed? He said, إِذَا وُسِدَ الْأَمْرُ إِلَى غَيْرِ أَهْلِهِ. When you see people that are not qualified to be in a particular position, they are being placed at that particular position, then you should expect worse things to happen. And Rasul has certainly spoken the truth. So what we are saying here is that the title that Allah has given Adam, that you are Khalifa, a responsibility will follow that. You are a Khalifa of Allah who will deputize for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not that Allah needs anybody's assistance, not that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in need or whatever, but there is a goal of Allah ta'ala creating you and sending you to the world. Then another thing we understand is that after Allah Ta'ala addressed Adam or addressed the angels that He's creating Adam, He's placing him on the surface of the earth to serve as a Khalifa, we understand that right from the beginning of creating Adam, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala did not create him to remain in the Jannah. He did not create him to remain in Jannah. He said, Fil ardi, I'm placing you on the surface of the earth. So it means what Adam was passing through, there are things that should serve as something that will enrich him and also enrich those that will follow, so that they will be able to live up to expectation. So what happened in Jannah, that he was deceived by Shaitan and he ate the forbidden fruit, and this is what transpired between him and the angels and whatever. These are all to prepare him for where Allah Ta'ala actually created him for. That means placing him on the surface of the earth. So the first thing that Allah Ta'ala did to Adam, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ. The first thing that Allah Ta'ala now taught Adam, He taught Adam, He granted him knowledge first, as the first thing. Which means knowledge is a very, very important attribute that a human being that wants to live as a Khalifa on the surface of the earth should possess. He should work hard to ensure that he acquire knowledge. Allah Ta'ala told us even about An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَعَلَّمَكَ مَا لَمْ تَكُنْ تَعْلَمْ وَكَانَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكَ عَظِيمًا. Allah taught you what you did not know before. وَعَلَّمَكَ مَا لَمْ تَكُنْ تَعْلَمْ. So Allah taught you. And if you recall, the first verse that Allah sent to Rasul was what? Iqra, read. Read in the name of your Lord who creates. So the first revelation to Rasul, read. The first thing Allah Ta'ala used to show the status and position of the children of Adam is ilm, is knowledge. So we come to realize the importance of education and the importance of learning. And one issue is Allah said, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. Allah taught Adam the names, all the names, every name. If you recall, what the angels were saying was that they glorify Allah, they serve Allah, they do everything that has to do with sanctifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Praising Him, glorifying Him, worshipping Him. Now Allah Ta'ala taught Adam names. He didn't say He taught him a special tasbih, a special worship that is above that of the angels, because they were saying that they worship Allah, they glorify Him, they do. And so Allah Ta'ala said now He taught Adam names, asma kullaha, all names. If you see scholars of Tafseer, what they used to say is that Allah taught Adam the names of things that are useful in this world, what he is going to use. And some scholars will include, while counting all these things, they will say, including the plates, how to utilize it, and all those materials and working implements that it will be used in the surface of the earth. You see, the scholars of Tafsir will say, these are the things Allah taught Adam. Ya subhanallah. If we said Allah Ta'ala, the angels, they glorify Allah, they thank Allah, they praise Allah, and they now say, because of that, why should Allah not be okay and leave them, not creating human beings that they might go ahead to commit evil acts, corruption on the surface of the earth, mischief. Allah said, okay, He created Adam, but then instead of teaching him tasbih or salat or adhkar, He said He taught him the names of everything. There is a great thing for us to learn here. He taught him the name of everything. You see, it means it is not just worship as ibadah of praising Allah, glorifying Allah, which are all the basic things that you are supposed to do as an obedient servant of Allah. But you also need to be aware. You also need to know the resources that Allah Ta'ala has created around you, how to utilize them effectively in the way that is pleasing to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. You recall when Allah Ta'ala said in Surah, when He said, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read what? Iqra, read what? Read everything. Read everything. So there is no restriction to reading. And there is no restriction to what you will learn. Iqra. The only thing is Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. If you are going to read, read in the name of Allah. Any field of study, any area of study, anywhere that has to do with trying to find out about the secrets of life or whatever, do it in the name of Allah. Allah didn't restrict your reading to one aspect or to one area or to one field. And in the same thing, when Allah Ta'ala is telling us about Adam now, He didn't restrict what He taught Adam. He didn't say He taught Adam the tasbih, or He taught Adam the takbir, or He taught Adam how to observe the salat. He said He taught Adam the names of everything. Asma kullah. By implication, as Muslims, we need to put more effort in areas that has to do with education. And you recall, as we have always been repeating, Rasul came, one of the greatest things he brought to the world is raising the level of awareness of humanity. Raising the level of awareness of humanity to be able to learn and to show the importance of learning and education. A hadith was reported by Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That hadith is there in Riyadus Salihin. That someone came. He was someone who has been committing all kinds of evil and atrocities. He killed 99 people. 99 people. Remember the value of life and what has been said about someone who he killed an innocent soul. What will happen to him? This person killed 99 people. After killing 99 people, something came to his mind. I need to repent and come back to Allah Ta'ala. But he need to ask and find out, what will he do? He asked people, what will I do? They said, well, we know of someone who is dedicated to the worship of Allah. Abid. Someone who serves Allah, who is always dedicated. Go to him and ask him what to do. This person now went and met this particular Abid, a dedicated servant of Allah, and he told him his story. I am so, and this is what I did in my life. But I want to repent. What should I do? This person said, oh, you've committed all this level of atrocities, this kind of evil, and now you want to come and say, no, there will hardly be any way for you. So this person now turned back and said, well, since there is no gate for repentance, and Allah will not accept me again, then it means I should continue with my mischief. And at the end, he added with this one to complete the 100. So he continued with his life. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's guidance is for a slave, you will realize that he will be guided. Come what may, irrespective of what he's committing. So at another point again, something touched his mind that I need to repent. He still asked some people that this is what I have done in my life. Is there any way out for me? They said, yes, there is a way out for you. Go and ask someone who is an alim, who is a knowledgeable person. Not someone who is just dedicated to ibadah. This person now searched and then got this person. When he reached him, he told him that this is my story, this is what I have done in my life. Can Allah forgive me? This person said, of course, who can stand between Allah and his servants? It is something that is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I will advise you, what you will do is, where you are living, the environment is a terrible environment. Leave that environment. Leave the environment, go to another environment, so place. If you go there, you stay there, continue to serve Allah Ta'ala, and then your other life will become a better one. This person now took this advice, and there he started. He packed his load to migrate from this corrupt land. On his way going, he died. He didn't reach where he's heading to, he died. After his death, what did happen? The angels, because Allah Ta'ala do things in order for us to learn. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just as we mentioned, the stay of Adam in Jannah and for so many other things to happen there is not just for storytelling. It is rather for us to be learning things on how to improve ourselves and how to live as true khulafa, as he said in Ja'ilu fil Ardi Khalifa. So when this person was going, he died midway. The angels of punishment came and was to pick him to go and then admit him into the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's punishment. The angels of Rahmah came and said, no, this person have the mind of seeking for forgiveness of Allah. This person will be taken for the Rahmah of Allah. An argument erupted. Where is this person more befitting to belong to? Is it where there is the Rahmah of Allah, where he has not yet reached, or he should remain in that particular area, a corrupt situation that he was known to be right from the beginning? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent someone to judge between the two, and at the end, that the one judging said, wherever his he is closer to, let him be taken to that place. And after the measurement, it was found that he was closer to the home of Rahmah. And Allah Ta'ala now says you should take him for Allah's mercy and Rahmah. What is the lesson for us here? The lesson is that this person happened to meet a scholar, and the scholar advised him of what is beneficial to him. But when he met someone who is just dedicated to ibadah, that particular person didn't know how to guide him. So Allah Ta'ala said, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. Allah taught him in order for him to be knowledgeable. Because if you are knowledgeable, then you will do so much. And again, how will you serve as a Khalifa of Allah on the surface of the earth? To serve, to deputize for Allah Ta'ala, to utilize all the resources that Allah has created in a way that is pleasing to Him, including the natural resources, including all these things. So in terms of knowledge, all these natural resources again are things that you should know and find out how to utilize them in the way that is pleasing to Allah. If you abandon technology to those people that don't fear Allah, they will use it in its negative way. But if those who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now harness and go into this technology, got it and then refine it and use it, they will use it for the benefit of mankind. And that is knowledge for you. If someone who doesn't fear Allah Ta'ala happen to acquire a lot of information with him and so many other things, he will use it negatively against humanity. While if the one that fear Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala acquire all these things, he will use it positively for humanity. So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala said, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. Allah taught Adam all the names. When he taught him, ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ عَلَى الْمَلَائِكَةِ, then Allah brought those things to the angels who were earlier on saying that why should Allah Ta'ala create human beings that to them they felt that they are there created by Allah Ta'ala and serving and worshiping Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala said, He now brought it to ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ عَلَى الْمَلَائِكَةِ فَقَالَ, Allah Ta'ala now said, أَنْبِئُونِي بِأَسْمَاءِ هَؤُلَاءِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Tell me the names of these things. Define all these things. Definition now. Define all these things. If truly what you are saying is such that you being created and serving and worshiping and glorifying me is okay, and there is no need to create a Khalifa who is not like you. Tell me, define these names. We come to see what did happen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي بِأَسْمَاءِ هَؤُلَاءِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. قَالُوا, what did they say now? Oh, is recited with that? سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. قال يا آدم أنبئهم بأسمائهم فلما أنبأهم بأسمائهم قال ألم أقل لكم إني أعلم غيب السماوات والأرض وأعلم ما تبدون وما كنتم تكتمون. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now showing the kind of position Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. And Allah Ta'ala is now also showing what is that particular quality or attribute that Allah Ta'ala gave Adam that make him to be unique or distinct and that make him to be different from the Malaika. So when Allah Ta'ala asked them to define, they couldn't define it. They were unable to mention the names of all these things. Why? Because Allah Ta'ala did not taught them. Because they do not own knowledge by themselves. They were not the creators of their own knowledge. Rather, it is Allah Ta'ala that gives knowledge to whom He wills. And He has not given them. So since He has not given them and they do not claim, and they will not be claiming that they have what they don't have. So at the end they say, قَالُوا سُبْحَانَكَ لَا عِلْمَ لَنَا إِلَّا مَا عَلَّمْتَنَا. They said, glory be to you, we have knowledge except that which you have taught us. It is only what you taught us that we know. And this shows humility that we should also learn in life. If you don't know anything, you don't know it. Rather than doing things that at the end will call destructions to human being or destructions to yourself. They said, Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. We don't have any knowledge other than what you taught us. Innaka antal alimul hakim. And you, Allah, you are the one that is full of knowledge and full of wisdom. For knowledge belongs to Allah Ta'ala, and full of wisdom belongs to Allah Ta'ala. So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala that taught Adam didn't teach them. And therefore, since they don't know, they did not claim that they actually knew. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala said, Qala ya Adamu anbi'uhum bi asma'ihim. Now this is Allah Ta'ala now say, Ya Adam, O you Adam, anbi'uhum bi asma'ihim. Tell them, inform them about the names of all these things. Give all the definitions of all these things. What are those things? Al-Ashya. What are those things? They are all those things that Allah created, that He brought forth before them and they could not. So Adam taught them and informed them about each and every of these things that have been presented. Why? Because Allah taught him. Allah taught him in order to show that knowledge is something that is unique and is something that is great and is something that brings greatness. So Allah Ta'ala taught Adam. Adam now taught them and he mentioned them. فَلَمَّا أَنْبَأَهُمْ بِأَسْمَائِهِمْ. When now he taught them and he defined all these things that have been presented, Allah Ta'ala said, أَلَمْ أَقُلْ لَكُمْ. Didn't I told you? إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ غَيْبَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. The secret of the heavens and the earth is known to me. وَأَعْلَوْ مَا تُبْدُونَ وَمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْتُمُونَ. And whatever you manifest, you brought forth open, like your statements, your utterances. And وَمَا تَكْتُمُونَ. And what you hide in your thoughts that has not been manifested is all known to Allah Ta'ala. Nothing is hidden to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So the statement they uttered that will Allah Ta'ala create and place someone who promotes mischief, corruption, shedding of blood on the surface of the earth. Allah is aware of what they are saying. And in other words, they are all thinking that Allah created them specially because the angels were created from nur, from light. They were created from light, while Adam was created from clay or from the sand. And just as the jinn were created from fire. So their sources of creation varies. There is that tendency of thinking that the one that has been created from light, from nur, will probably be better. And more, especially, the angels don't disobey Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. They are there obeying Allah. لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. They don't disobey Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So all those thinking, all those whatever, even if it has not been manifested, even if it has not been mentioned, Allah Ta'ala is aware of all those kind of thinkings and all those kind of insinuations that can be in you. And Allah is aware of what you have spoken out. That this created being is going to promote corruption, is going to promote bloodshed and whatever. But there is a wisdom behind creating this creation that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala rightly created. So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala said, وَأَعْلَوْ مَا تُبْدُونَ وَمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْتُمُونَ. Then Allah said, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا.
وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى وَاسْتَكْبَرَ وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. وَقُلْنَا
قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس أبى واستكبر وكان من الكافرين. وقلنا يا آدم اسكن أنت وزوجك الجنة وكلا منها رغدا حيث شئتما ولا تقربا هذه الشجرة فتكونا من الظالمين. Allah Ta'ala said, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا. Also tell them or inform them. When Allah Ta'ala says to Rasulullah something like this, is to enlighten them, remind them, tell the human beings, humanity, those that this message is being sent to them. Remind them of this happened, what has happened. and remember or remind them or enlighten them or draw their attention. When we say to the angels, usjudu, at that particular time, we now say, usjudu li Adam, bow down to Adam. This is a honor. The angels created from light, and Adam created from what Allah Ta'ala has mentioned, and then now Allah Ta'ala is saying the angels should bow down to him, usjudu li Adam. What is the reason behind that? If you look at it carefully, it is not the kind of origin that they have that make them to be great. It is not from where they were created, just as it is not also for someone to claim that he come from so house or from so background, and that is why. No, there is something extra that can make you to be great, not your source, not your origin. Otherwise, from their origin, they were created from light. And from the origin of Adam, he was created from clay. And that was why the arrogance of Iblis was as a result of looking back at his origin. خَلَقْتَنِي مِن نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِن طِينٍ. Allah, you created me from fire. And look at you created him from clay, from mud. How will I now be taken to this lower position that I will bow down before Adam? So looking at the origin, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown in several instances that it is not where you came from that matters. It is not who your family are that matters, but it is who you are and what you live by. In the history of mankind and in the history of Risala, the message that Allah sent to the world, the greatest human beings are who? They are the Rusul, the messengers. They are the greatest human being. And among these greatest human beings, the greatest among the messengers are who? They are the Ulul Azmi min al-Rusul, the greatest messengers. And these greatest messengers, they are how many? They are 5 in number. Ulul Azmi min al-Rusul. Let's look at their background and see it is where they came from that make them to be who they are. We start from Prophet Noah alayhi salatu wasalam. Who is the father of Noah? Who is his mother? History did not even record who his father is, that you'll be able to say exactly this is his father and this is his mother. And that they were from so, they were this, and that was why Noah now inherited that particular position and he became what he became. Then leave Prophet Noah. Who is the next among the Ulul Azm? Prophet Ibrahim. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, who was his father? His father Adara, who was even known to be dealing with idols, carving them and selling them. But then Allah Ta'ala now brought Prophet Ibrahim, Messenger Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, and he became the messenger that Allah Ta'ala glorified, that after him no any other messenger that is worth or prophet that came that was not linked to his own family, Prophet Ibrahim. So you look at his background also. Then apart from Prophet Ibrahim, who is the next among the Ulul Azm? Prophet Musa. Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, what was his background? Even his mother was trying to find ways of hiding him, because the king, the Pharaoh, then was looking for ways to kill, because of the information that came to him earlier that someone will come and that particular person will threaten your own authority. He was doing so much of planning a lot in order to kill Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. But Allah Ta'ala make it possible for Musa to even go to the house of Fir'aun and even be raised there. So Musa, what was his background? Prophet Musa. And he became what he became. Who is the next? Prophet Isa, Jesus Christ alayhi salatu wasalam. And Jesus Christ also, look at his background. Allah didn't even give him a father, so that you cannot feel that okay, he comes from that father that can train him or give him whatever. Prophet Isa came not from that kind of also a father that brought him to where he was brought up by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who is the seal of the messengers? Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Nabiuna Muhammad, right from the time he was even in his womb, Allah took away his father. His father died and left him in the womb of his mother. He was there when his mother was pregnant. Before she gave birth to him, the father died. And after Allah Ta'ala made the mother to give birth to him, what did happen? Some few years later, the mother died. The grandfather that took care of him also died. And at the end, he still grew up, and then he became what he... So if you take the Ulul Azm, all of them, Do they ride on their own background, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them to be what they are because He wants them to be where they are? And they serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do what they are supposed to do. So it is high time we stop being proud of our origin or our background and rather pick up to do the right thing and follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is then that Allah ta'ala, if He wills, and then He will elevate you and put you in a position that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so will to place you, just as He raised the status of Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. So Allah ta'ala now, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ. Allah now ordered the angels that should bow down to who? To Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. And we see how knowledge will elevate, and then ignorance will what? Will make you to be below, to be down. And it is therefore not surprising to see the countries that give value to education being on the top, and then others prostrating and bowing down before them. It's not surprising, because Allah has shown us this, that Adam was elevated and his status was raised high with knowledge, and it is with that knowledge that Allah now ordered the angels that they should bow down to Adam alayhi salatu wasalam in submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And remember what we said, the knowledge is not restricted to just one area. Adam asma'a kullaha. Adam's knowledge covers every area. His knowledge covers asma'a kullaha. So if you have a country, nations this time around that try to explore and try to go to all areas, you wouldn't be surprised that if some nation become tilted towards one particular area, they will be bowing down to those particular nations. It's not surprising. And this should now motivate us as Muslims to go into all areas of learning, of knowledge, of exploration and whatever, but to appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ. Bow down to Adam. فَسَجَدُوا. All of them bow down to Adam. They obeyed that. إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ. Except Iblis. Aba, he refused, was takbara and became arrogant. وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. He ended up among those people that are disbelievers, that went outside what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept His creation to live by. That means following His own rule. What do you also learn from this? What do we learn from this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered them to bow down. They bow down because they obey the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they accept that really they are below Adam, because Allah has shown clearly what make Adam to be above them, and their status does not diminish at all because they obey the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They obey Allah in bowing down to Adam. It is not Adam that called on them to bow down to him, but it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that ordered and decreed that they should do that. Allah ta'ala say, Illa Iblis, except Iblis. And Iblis is not an angel, but he happened to be with them among the creatures that Allah ta'ala created, because Allah told us, just as he himself, Iblis, was said, Khalaqtani min narin, you created me from fire, while the angels were created from light. There's a relationship between the light and the fire. Do you get that? So there's a relationship actually between Iblis and the angels, but then they are not the same. So when Allah Ta'ala ordered them to bow down, Iblis now said, no, khalaqtani min narin wa khalaqtahu min teen. Allah, you created me from fire, you created Adam from clay. How will I now go down to Adam and the creator that I look down that he is below me? Allah said, was takbara, he became arrogant. Now the issue of kibr. The issue of kibr is a very terrible thing. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said in one of his hadith, he said, لا يدخل الجنة من كان في قلبه مثقال ذرة من الكبر. Rasul said, whoever have an iota of arrogance in him will not be admitted into paradise. Arrogance is a terrible thing. And arrogance, scholars of Islam describe there is ujub. Ujub will come after ujub, then kibr will come. And ujub, that is by the time you give yourself a value above any other thing, that is ujub. You begin to feel yourself you are different. You begin to feel yourself that you own something that nobody owns. You begin to give yourself self-respect, and then from there you begin to look down on others. That is ujub. So when ujub come, then kibr will come. Kibr, that is arrogance. Then nobody will be able to tell you anything, because that is kibr. Rasul was asked, what is arrogance? What is kibr? Because some of us would like to wear beautiful clothes, enjoy beautiful things. Is that also kibr? Rasul said, no, that is not kibr. That is not arrogance. What is kibr? Arrogance is disgracing people and then avoiding to accept the truth from them. gamtun nas, batarul haqqi wa gamtun nas. What is called as arrogance is for you to look down on people, that they are not up to the level to tell you what you should do. You look down upon people and then you reject the truth. That is kibr. But for you to wear good clothes, whatever, this is not arrogance. So what we are saying here is that ujub will come. And ujub, as scholars say, is by the time either you have knowledge, or you are dedicated to ibadah, or you have something unique that make you to actually have that. It's not that you lack it, but you have it. Then by the time you have it, you will begin to look at that is what makes you to be unique, and others cannot be compared with you. Then you begin to give more respect to what you have, and then you will be sort of looking down upon whatever other people have. And because of that, since you have already looked down upon what they have, you look down as nothing. Whatever they now try to tell you, you feel that no, they are not supposed to tell you that, and that is what kibr. So as Rasulullah said, whoever have this something of kibr in him will never be admitted into paradise. And in another place, Rasulullah said, nobody will be humbled without Allah not elevating his status. If you are humbled, then Allah Ta'ala will elevate your status. But if you are arrogant, then Allah will destroy you. So it means it is very important for us to learn how to be humble in our life. To learn how to be humble, because whatever you have, be it knowledge, be it position, be it whatever, it is something that Allah Ta'ala assisted you to acquire. And it is not even a guarantee to show that you are above others. Even ibadah. It is not ibadah that will show you that you are above others. It is not knowledge that will show that you are above others. But of course, Allah Ta'ala told you that this has value, and Allah has given you, knowledge has value, ibadah has value, and Allah has given you to be committed to ibadah. But that should not be an excuse for you to look at yourself as above any other thing. So Allah Ta'ala said, Iblis then became arrogant, was takbara, wa kana min al-kafirin, and then he became among those people, among those creatures that will disbelieve, because he was the first person to now disbelieve and became out of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rahmah and mercy. Allah said, وَقُلْنَا يَا آدَمُ. You cited it? وَقُلْنَا يَا آدَمُ اسْكُنْ أَنْتَ وَزَوْجُكَ الْجَنَّةِ وَكُلَا مِنْهَا رَغَدًا حَيْثَ شِئْتُمَا وَلَا تَقْرَبَا هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةَ فَتَكُونَا مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Allah Ta'ala said, then وَقُلْنَا, we now said, that means Allah Ta'ala now said, Ya Adam, O you Adam. You see, Allah honored Nabiuna Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah honored him by giving him knowledge, and not only by giving him knowledge, but he has shown him that he is great, that Allah Ta'ala even ordered the angels that they should bow down in respect because of the position that Allah Ta'ala has given him. So Allah said, now, O Adam, uskun anta wa zawjukal jannah. That is the beginning of the trial. Now, after all the honor, all the greatness, all whatever Allah Ta'ala has done to you, now sit down and begin to enjoy the good things that Allah Ta'ala have granted you. You see, someone can spend his life struggling and battling to gain one position or the other, to acquire one thing or the other that will make him to be unique or distinct or great. After he has acquired that thing, at the point he is to sit down and use that is the beginning of the trial. Some people can acquire the best of certificates. After getting employment, then the beginning of the trial will come. Some will fail and some will pass. The same thing, some will spend their time looking for money day and night. Then Allah at the end might honor them and grant them that money. Then at the time Allah will now ask you, okay, sit down and utilize this money. That will be the beginning of the trial. Some might fail and some will pass. So Allah is now telling us about what did happen to Adam. You have seen the honor Allah has given him as Khalifa. You have seen what Allah did to him by informing him and giving him a knowledge. And you have seen what Allah has done to him by showing that the angels should bow down to him. Now Allah Ta'ala now said to Adam, Uskun anta wa zawjukal jannah. You and your spouse sit down and stay, enjoy this particular garden. وَكُلَا مِنْهَا رَغَدًا حَيْثُ شِئْتُمَا. وَكُلَا, and you should eat. You should eat minha from it, ragadan. You should eat in abundance. In abundance, ragadan. Anything you so wish, haythu shi'tuma, wherever you wish. There is no restriction. Eat and enjoy and interact and do whatever you want to do in Jannah. The only thing is وَلَا تَقْرَبَا هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةِ. There is just one rule. One rule. All other things continue to live your life, but just one rule. Do not come closer to this particular tree. If you do that, فَتَكُونَا مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. If you do that, you will be among those that have wronged yourselves. Therefore, avoid only this tree, but go ahead and enjoy everything. So you see the bounties and the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so enormous, plenty, no restriction, but only one thing, a tree, which you cannot even, at that particular time, they don't even know what the tree has. Its own kind of taste, whether it is sweet or it is bitter, whether it is, they don't know. But all other things there in Jannah are there available for them to use in abundance. So Allah Ta'ala now is telling us and is teaching us that in so many cases in life, you will see someone disobeying Allah not because of denial, not because Allah have denied him. You see all opportunities Allah has given him, but just one thing, instead of him to be able to wait and enjoy all the other things, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have decreed that this is not among those to be blessed by Allah Ta'ala, he will go into that area. And that is why it's not surprising to see someone with account worth millions of dollars or even billions, and yet still you will not be surprised to see that particular person found wanting in millions or even thousands of dollars, and from there he will fall. So it's not that he doesn't have. So many people that are caught committing acts of corruption or stealing or whatever, if you begin to look at them, you begin to see, are they suffering some denials they don't have, or there is what kind of thing? So it is because these are among those people that may Allah protect us, that Allah have decreed a lot of evils that will follow if they die without repenting. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us now, Allah told Adam and his spouse that you should stay in this. Allah also is telling us very important thing about life. Just as Ibn Khaldun was saying, al-insanu madaniyun tab'an, a human being naturally cannot stay alone. He needs a partner. He needs someone. So a human being cannot live as a man alone without a woman. Nor can a woman live without a man. These have been created in pairs to assist and collaborate with one another. It's not because one is above the other. It's because that they have been created in order to satisfy the need of the other. The man has a particular need that without the woman he cannot get that particular need fulfilled. And the woman also has a particular need that without the man she cannot have that particular need fulfilled. So Allah created them together. When Allah created them, He now placed them in Jannah, the two of them. And it is the two of them that Allah Ta'ala now gave that particular decree, that gave that particular ruling. You shouldn't come near this particular tree. If you dare do that, فَتَكُونَ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ, you will be among the wrongdoers. فَأَزَّلَهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ
فَأَزَلَّهُمَا الشَّيْطَانُ عَنْهَا فَأَخْرَجَهُمَا مِمَّا كَانَا فِيهِ وَقُلْنَا اهْبِطُوا بَعْضُكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ عَدُوٌّ وَلَكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ مُسْتَقَرٌّ وَمَتَاعٌ إِلَىٰ حِينٍ. فَتَلَقَّىٰ آدَمُ مِن رَّبِّهِ كَلِمَاتٍ فَتَابَ عَلَيْهِ إِنَّهُ هُوَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ.
Okay, so I was shown that it is time for question and answers. Otherwise, we now see what did happen after their stay in Jannah and the kind of trial they passed through, and also what Allah Ta'ala told us. As said earlier, there are a lot of lessons for us to learn. Allah will have created human beings and just at once send them to the world. He will have done that. وَمَا ذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ بِعَزِيزٍ. Allah has power to do that. Allah will have created Adam and not allow him to pass through all these things. All that is within the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah have decreed that all those happenings will happen. All those things will happen. And remember what we said, while our studies of the glorious Quran is for us to pick some lessons from the messages for self-assessment. Our sitting here is learning from the messages of the glorious Quran for self-assessment. So let's go back and assess ourselves from what we have studied so far on what did happen between from the statement of Allah Ta'ala to the angels, what the angels did say and what Allah Ta'ala replied, and also what happened after creating Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, and the kind of knowledge Allah Ta'ala gave Adam, and also the kind of status or position But Allah Ta'ala give Nabiuna Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. What led to that? And then what led to the angels bowing down to Adam alayhi salatu wasalam in obedience to the command of Allah Ta'ala? Let us all assess ourselves individually and also as nations. We assess ourselves, because as Islamic nations there are a lot of abundance of resources that Allah has given us, human and material. Allah has given us in abundance. But then, are we using it in a way that will make others to bow down to us, or we have abandoned this knowledge and then we are bowing down to others? Because we have seen what did happen between the angels and also Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. And as said earlier, the issue of knowledge, it is not a restricted something that is restricted to one particular area. The only thing is that the knowledge should be built on things that are pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it should be used in a way that Allah ta'ala is pleased with, not in a way that is destructive either to humanity or to any other thing that Allah Ta'ala has created. By the time we use this knowledge in that way, then it means we have benefited from these lessons that Allah Ta'ala told us that actually did happen to our father Adam alayhi salatu wasalam before coming to this world. I pray Allah Ta'ala will guide us to straight path, encourage us in wise knowledge, and also establish us on that path that is pleasing to Him. Whatever we said or I said which is wrong, may Allah forgive me and take it away from our minds. And whatever we say which is right, may Allah assist us to implement the best out of it. Allahumma izzil Islam wal Muslimin, wa adil shirk wal mushrikeen, wa dammir a'da ad-din, wa ansur ibadak al-muwahhidin, bi rahmatika rabbal alamin. This one said, Assalamu alaikum Malam. I want to ask, maybe I can recite Quran on behalf of my parents during this Ramadan. Secondly, during our Taraweeh prayer yesterday, our Imam made a mistake, and after the Salam, he now go to sujood. I want to ask, maybe it is necessary, because I heard from one Malam that if you made a mistake when performing Nafila, the sujood is not necessary. I want full explanation. May Allah Ta'ala assist us all. In the first place, reciting the glorious Quran for your parents during Ramadan or any other time, you recite the glorious Quran and then you recite that hoping that the reward will reach your own parents. That is the reward of reciting Al-Quran. This is also an area of scholarly discussion and argument. Not all scholars disagree that the reward of reciting Al-Quran will reach the deceased. And not all scholars agree that the reward of reciting Al-Quran will reach the deceased. One issue that we should bear is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَأَن لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. That an individual is not entitled to get anything other than what he has worked for. إِلَّا مَا سَعَى وَأَنَّ سَعْيَهُ سَوْفَ يُرَى. And those things he had worked for, certainly he will come to witness that, and he will see that, and it will be beneficial to him. Now, this recitation of the glorious Quran and other ibadats, there are ibadats that are restricted to the individual alone, such as like salat. You remember we talk about ibadah that is lazima and the ibadah that is muta'addiyah. Ibadah that at the end its benefit will extend to another person, and the ibadah whose benefit will be restricted to you that observe that ibadah. So some scholars have the opinion that all those ibadahs that you do directly just to worship Allah, such as performing the salat, such as reciting the Quran itself, such as tasbihat, tahlilat and whatever, you do it on your own. But other ibadah that has to do with money, such as paying for the hajj of someone to go and observe hajj, and then giving out the zakat of the wealth of someone who probably is not alive, all these ones can be done on behalf of those people that are no more alive. Other scholars held that no, as much as the individual have a hand in anything that has to do with you, that you are performing that ibadah, he has a hand in making you to be what you are. Then anything you do of ibadah, he can benefit from that. When Rasul ﷺ says that if someone should die, all his good work will cease to be beneficial, he said, unless the sadaqatul jariyah, أو علم ينتفع به أو ولد صالح يدعو له, or if you leave a pious son that prays and supplicate for him. So the prayer and supplication of the son will reach the parents, because the parents have a hand in training that particular son to reach that particular level. So recitation of the glorious Quran, some scholars put it as part of that. That if you recite the Quran and then you ask that Allah give the reward to those people who are dead among your own parents, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept that. But as I said, other scholars disagree with that particular opinion. But by consensus of opinion of all scholars, if you pray for your parents, the prayer is acceptable. And by consensus of opinion of scholars, reciting the glorious Quran is an ibadah. And you can always do an ibadah in order to please Allah Ta'ala, and after pleasing Allah you supplicate. So to go out of all the arguments, you can recite a glorious Quran and the word from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, and then after that you would supplicate to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to forgive you and also forgive your own parents. And that's one, there will not be any argument for that being acceptable. May Allah Ta'ala assist us. The second one is sujood qabla salam or sujood ba'da salam in nawafil. That can sujood ba'da salam or qabla salam be done in salawat that are nawafil, that are not compulsory. If you look at our books of the books of jurists in our area here, in the books of School of Thought of Imam Malik, read all the books that has to do with areas of ibadat, and then where they discuss issue of qabli or ba'di, you will see that they will discuss and tell you that any rule that has to do with salat that is farilla is the same rule that has to do with salat that is nafila, except with few exceptions. And those exceptions are in the nawafil, whether you open silently or open silently or in, aloud, it doesn't matter. But that is not the case in farilla. In the same thing, recitation of surah in the nawafil, you can recite Fatiha alone and it suffices, while if it is in the compulsory salat where the surah should be added, it must be added. So this certain few exceptions. But other than those ones, additions that invited for ba'di or qabli, in the school of thoughts of Imam Malik, it calls for sujood al-qabli and ba'di as well. But there are scholars of hadith, renowned scholars of hadith, that took the position that no, the sujood are only for compulsory salawat. So I want to say that the position you will take book and sit before your scholar, so that he should be able to teach you the details of this thing. Then anyone you implement with fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah ta'ala will guide you to the right state. May Allah assist us. This one said, does zakat due on hire purchase business that lasted forever a year? A hire purchase, if I understand the whole concept, you buy a particular thing that you are using it for business, but you have bought it and you are trying to repay back, and probably paying back even above what ordinarily it should have been sold in the market. Let's assume you now bought a motorcycle, probably in the market it's worth 70,000, and then you now bought it for the other person maybe at 100,000, and you are paying him a bit. Now you spend up to a year with that particular amount you are using. Can you now pay zakat from that particular thing, if I understand the question well? Well, based on that, we need to remind ourselves first that zakat is compulsory. Zakat is compulsory. If one refuses to give out zakat, he is utilizing resources that does not belong to him, because that percentage or that ratio that should be giving out for zakat is not your own. It belongs to people that Allah Ta'ala did mention. If you are using it, it means you are using resources that is not your own. So zakat is compulsory. But at what time are you going to give zakat? The zakat is compulsory on you only if you have the amount that has reached the nisab and it has completed a year, and it is solely for you, milkan kamilan, hawlan kamilan, nisaban kamilan. This is what scholars say. Milkan kamilan, it solely belongs to you. It is not that you are partnering with another person in that sin. Hawlan kamilan, it has reached full year. Nisaban kamilan, and it has reached the full nisab. So if there is anything that make any of these three to be defective, then there is no zakat. So if you look at that thing that you are still paying, it has not yet become your own. It has not yet become your own. So it means the resources you have gotten, if you have not yet paid it completely, is not enough for you to pay the zakat because it does not belong to you. And another addition is that things that you bought, such as motorcycles, machine, and whatever, it is not those properties that you are giving the zakat for. It is what you gain from the properties, that is the money. It is the money, because properties that are used for business, that means you are using them to get the money. They are not the ones that are being given out as zakat. It is what you earn from that. So if the money you have been getting from that, like you have houses that you have given out for rent, you don't give the zakat of the houses, but rather it is the money you collect. If in addition to what you have, now this money has reached up to 1 year, complete as nisab, then you now count 1/40th of that amount and then you give out as zakat. So I think by implication, this person that is talking about hire purchase, it depends. Probably he has other businesses. If you have another business that you are doing, and of course you have that money, for example, you are renting houses, you are selling some things, then you now bought another thing for hire purchase that you are paying. But then if you take the total sum of what you have of amount of money, it can be able to pay that particular zakat, then you pay the zakat. I pray Allah Ta'ala will assist us. Then this one said, if a person is eating food without the word in the name of Allah, I heard that the person is eating with Satan. If another person come to join him in that food, and the second person start in the name of Allah before eating, will the Satan leave the food? You see, the Satan will remain with the person that didn't say the Bismillah, and will not be with the person that say with Bismillah. You see, the Satan, the devil, is not like a physical, material, created being that you see physically and say, okay, he belongs here and he doesn't belong here. So, someone can be together with any other person and he will be with Satan and the other one is not with Shaitan. The acts that make that particular person to be with Shaitan is avoiding mentioning the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. While the act that will make Shaitan to avoid the other person is the fact that he mentioned the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is something that, because there are certain ibadahs that if one person observe it, then it suffices for others. This does not fall within this particular category. It is each person that if you are eating the food, you start in the name of Allah. You start with Bismillah. And Rasul said, if you forgot, at the beginning you didn't remember, then all of a sudden in the middle you remember, you still said the Bismillah at that particular point and it suffices. So it means at any point you remember you have not said Bismillah, you can still say Bismillah and it suffices. Bismillah awalihi wa akhirihi. Bismillah in the beginning and the end, it suffices. But if you didn't say completely up to the end, then of course you have eaten food with Shaitan, which means that particular food can hardly be a blessed one to your own body. I pray Allah will assist us. This one said, I want you to explain to us about the people that give or do something for somebody and started telling everybody anytime he is discussing. He started telling, okay, that is he probably assisted someone and he began to do broadcasting. I think this is the question. That means someone broadcasting his good work. Well, it is part of those things that destroy sincere reward, that destroy full reward. We did mention here, I think last week, the statement of Rasulullah that there are 7 people that will be under the shade of Allah. A day that there is no shade other than the shade of Allah Ta'ala. Among these 7 people, Rasulullah said, وَرَجُلٌ تَصَدَّقَ بِصَدَقَةٍ فَأَخْفَاهَا. Someone who give a special sadaqah, بِصَدَقَةٍ, meaning a special sadaqah, فَأَخْفَاهَا. Then he hide the sadaqah. Nobody knew the sadaqah. That even his left did not know what the right has given. This person will be among those that will be under the shelter of Allah Ta'ala. It did that there is no going to be shelter or shade other than that of Allah Ta'ala. So it is highly rewarding that you do things without anybody knowing. But it is not prohibited that you inform people of some good act for them to emulate and to copy. Certain things are done silently and people might not know that these things can be done and you earn a reward. You can mention it in order to encourage people, in order to make people be aware that there is need to do this and that. So in that respect, if the motive, the intention is to enlighten people, then you get a reward for that. But then, if the motive is just to demean the person, to to downgrade or to disgrace the person you have helped or assisted, then you have destroyed your own reward. Because anybody you assist and you do good, and then you begin to be broadcasting, am I not the one that did this? That is what is called mannu. Yamunnuna alayka an aslamu. Even in Islam, Allah Ta'ala said, the munafiqun used to say, if we have not been Muslims, you will have not gotten what you have gotten. So all these things, to feel that you have done this, and without you doing that, then probably the other person wouldn't have find his way out, and wouldn't have been, then you are destroying your own reward. So what you do of good, it is better you try to concede it to the best you can, and do it for the sake of Allah Ta'ala. You will fall among those people that Allah mentioned in the glorious Quran. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ لَا نُرِيدُ مِنكُمْ جَزَاءً وَلَا شُكُورًا. That we feed you for the sake of Allah. We never intend that we require something of praise from you or appreciation. Not praise, no appreciation, no you rewarding us. We have done it for the sake of Allah Ta'ala. So do that, whatever you are going to do for the sake of Allah, and it will suffice. You will get that full reward from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Nothing of good you will do that will be hidden. Even if people have not seen that, Allah Ta'ala did record it. And you want Allah Ta'ala to give you the reward. It's not just for people to praise you and to name streets after you, to name a particular hall after you, to do this, and then it is stop here. That is not what you are after. So I pray Allah Ta'ala will assist us. But scholars of Islam said, if it is like zakat, which is compulsory to give out zakat, it is good that the community tells it and inform people this is zakat. And if you are giving zakat, it is also encouraged that you tell the person, this is the zakat of my wealth I'm giving out the zakat, because it shows you obeying Allah Ta'ala in the rights of the wealth that Allah has given you that belong to that particular person. You are giving him. So if it is zakat, you can say this is the zakat of my wealth I'm giving. But as for sadaqah, you do your best to conceal it. It should just be known probably to the person. In fact, we were told about some of our predecessors that they will go out and give a sadaqah to people might hardly know who is even giving this sadaqah. They hardly know. Some will go out, a predecessor was mentioned about his own history, that he will go to if he know a particular family that are suffering, he will go and in the night, he will go to the gate of that particular house. If there is need for him to invite one person that's a child, and he will call him that, look, this belongs to your own, and he will leave it, and then he will leave. The person that will come will take that loan will never know whoever gave this particular thing. So of course these are very rare in our societies, but what I said is that we should try our best to ensure that we do things for the sake of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Some people do things for people to praise them. Even Islam, there are people that feel that because they are Muslims, so Islam is growing. If they are not Muslim, then Islam will have problem. I used to say these things. You get some people saying that this person, if you didn't do this for me, I will leave Islam. So if you leave Islam, who are you? Who now will suffer it? Is it not you? If you didn't do this to me, some people are telling me this. Some people are drawing my attention. This and that. Islam is for your own benefit. Islam is for our benefit. So if you really understand that you need Islam because you need your progress in this world and the hereafter, you need to be given reasons that if you didn't do this, then that will happen. It is a favor for you to be a Muslim. It's a favor. Allah Ta'ala favored you to be a Muslim. If only you know what Islam is. And as we said, if you look at the world today, if Islam is only Muslims that make Islam to be what it is, where will Islam have been? Because Islam belongs to Allah Ta'ala. So even though the Muslims have been doing near zero of contribution to Islam, Islam still is growing to areas you least expect Islam will grow. But as said, one thing that we should take responsibility, I mentioned, I will repeat it, is that Islam is growing, especially among the intellectuals, those that are enlightened. In the enlightened communities, you see Islam growing. But the problem is that if you go to the poor community, Muslims are leaving Islam. Why? Because those poor community, there are some money and resources and humanitarian aid that is used to carry them away from Islam. But intellectually, you can't defeat Islam. So that's why you hardly see intellectuals living Islam. How many imams you see living Islam? Non-imams. How many you see living Islam? How many Islamic scholars you see living Islam? But aren't you getting scholars in other religion coming back to Islam? Aren't you getting? But you go to the villages, poor communities, you see them living Islam because of giving them some a lot of material this thing. So if Muslims will do theirs and then pick what we are supposed to pick, and then we grant all these necessary aids that we are supposed to grant to our fellow brothers and sisters. Hardly with any other deen penetrate Islam. So I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will assist us. Whatever we do of Islam, we are doing it for ourselves. And the same thing, any good you do it for your own self. You don't feel that I'm doing this thing, and then if I didn't do this thing, then Islam will suffer, and whatever. I pray Allah ta'ala will reward us abundantly, forgive us our shortcomings, and guide us to straight path. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidul Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidul Majid. Allahumma hadina subul salam. Allahumma najjina min adh-dhulumati ila an-nur. اللهم ربنا أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم اجعلنا من عبادك الراشدين اللهم ربنا تقبل صيامنا وقيامنا وركوعنا وسجودنا اللهم اجعلنا من عبادك الراشدين اللهم ربنا لا تضع لنا في مقامنا هذا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا مريدا إلا شفيته ولا ميتا إلا رحمته ولا مبتلا إلا عافيته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة إلا قضيتها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وآل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك